have a treat for you. How to do baseboard encasing with only a skill saw. Now, I have to warn you guys, when using a skill saw, you need exactly that. You need skill to use this fine instrument. You cut your fingers if you're not careful. So, baseboard going on here. We have to do the baseboard. So, probably wondering, how do you do baseboard with a skill saw? I'm going to move my hammer because we don't need it here anymore. So, your table, which is this part of the saw, your table can move. You open it up, and it'll move. Why is mine so stiff? It'll move back and forth. So you can pretty much cut everything you need with this, if you have the skill to do it. So, what we need is, not only do you have to have the skill, you have to have the proper preparation. I've already went ahead and cut these blocks, and these are like mitered corners, because yes, I do mitered corners with the skill saw. It's a lot lighter than carrying a table saw or anything else. And I've already cut these corners. You can see that they look pretty nice, right? And the way you can achieve this is you have to at least understand your tools in a way where you're comfortable enough to make these kind of cuts. So I usually take something like this and I'll put it against the corner. But since this corner is so tiny over here, they said they're going to finish the floor. Everything up. Make sure I got a nice fit. Alright? So I got a nice fit there. That works. And you can actually, now that it fits perfect, I can go ahead and measure outside the edge. This is 36 and a half. 36 and a half. We'll go 36 and a half plus a little bit more.
George?
Yes, sir.
Can you move your car?
Yes.
And cannot come out.
Alright.
Thanks so much. Wait for working.
That's alright. Anyways, let me move my car. I love it. I'll be right back. Welcome to live. In real time, you get to witness all the stuff we do. Okay, so basically we got 36 and a half. And then 36 and a half. Good thing about having these pieces is you can write your measurement right here. 36 and a half plus like a 16th. And then now that I got this all lined up here, that's looking good. I can literally draw a line to where the edge of this board is. And then that'll be my measurement. See? Show you with the square here. So that'll be my measurement from the edge. Which is about 1 inch and a quarter plus a 16. So we got 36 and a half there. Now we got another. See this? I didn't really plan this very well. I would have done things a little differently here, but so let's go to here. Same deal. Just measure, make the corner line up. And so when I set my table on this thing almost fits perfect to there. It's like this piece is almost like the piece. It actually, I could use this piece here. Out of this baseboard. I don't know how they expect me to fix that, but I'm gonna do add caulking. See that little spot there missing right there? I don't know. I'm just like last minute, oh, do this, do that, you know? So I have things to do and not hang out. But I guess we're gonna have to caulk it in some way to make it look nice. So the casing is gonna go to basically the ground. Like I'm obviously taking this job over after it's half finished. Look, this drywall's not here. So you do the flooring and you know the wood's still exposed. Like, I don't know. It's really not for me to fix, but I'm here. So we're gonna line that up perfect. And then from underneath, we can scribe this. And this is for the right side. I can put like an R. So when you're staring at the door, you know what's what. And so that measurement from points to tip, from tip to square line is 1 3/8. So I'll put that on the face here. 1 3/8. So I'm actually just going to put this piece in place here because this actually fits perfect. So I only got to cut this little tiny piece out of this or out of the next one. And that's all we can do. And then we'll do the casing. Just figured I'd do the complicated cuts first. Show you guys how that's done. I'm going to take you over to the the bench, because that's basically all I use. Bench, square, skill saw. And what I'm doing here, there, that should work pretty good. Have to turn it a little. There, boom. Maybe even you guys get to see all the liveness. So I got a couple tools I'll use. This I'll use for the casing. This will give me my degree if it's off, just so we can get a perfect measurement. I'll put that in the pouch. That's not what we need right now. I'm using recycled baseboard. The beauty of this is literally I have to the entire thing to get it to work properly. Got my pieces here. We got 2 5/8 is the distance. So you gotta know your saw. When the table is bent over, how do you find out how far the is to where you're using your square? Because in order to make a nice square cut, and this is how I literally do it. I'll show you. I will put my square against the wood like this, and then I'll use the fence, because that's what this is, a table, this is the fence. I'll put the fence against the square, and as I pinch, you can just cut through and you have a nice perfect cut. Now, I have a really good blade on it, but it's still fraying. I don't know if you can see this little bit of a very minuscule little fray. And I'm going to show you what happens when you cut it from the back side. So if you can keep this in mind, you can actually do some pretty amazing work with the skill saw. Now, look at that. It's like it's smooth as a baby's bottom, the sharpest edge you can find. I'll grab the other piece that I had cut, and you can see the difference. You see? This was from cutting where the blade's coming up like this, and when we turned it down, it brought all the frayed edges to here, but made this side nice and sharp. Because I put the pieces in the corner and I measured from the corner to the edge of this makes my life a lot easier. You can also hook on it and go, what was the measurement again? 2 5/8 plus a 16th. 2 5/8. Plus a 16. So you can literally, you see there's a little mark here I made. Little mark. I'm gonna put my pencil on that mark and slide my square to it so that I can mark the top. I have a top mark there. And you know, things have developed throughout the day. I guess somehow the bolt fell out of my clamp, so this falls off, so I have to improvise. I figured I could just throw a deck screw in there to stop it from pushing it off. So you can literally clamp it, or you can hold it by hand. But because we're using a bench, I'm gonna clamp it like so. And then, because the measurements I used to get this angle, because I pre-cut and I have experience doing this, I knew it was going to be a little bit past 45. I don't know if you can see, 45 is right there. So I put it in the middle of 45. And what that does is it gives it a little bit more of an exaggerated point. It pushes away from the wall, but it finishes the corner on the outside nice. So now, because I'm doing an outside cut, I want to have this angle going like this. I have to turn the saw this way. So because I have this clamp holding the square there, I can literally push through. But that 2 5/8 measurement wasn't my finished. Where's that other piece of wood? That wasn't my finished measurement. Unless that was my bad, guys. Can't remember what I did. Unless that was from this backside. That actually, oh my god. See, this is the life of Texas Ninja Jack sometimes, you know, all this improvisation crap. It's like, how do you make it work? Yeah, that should be. So now we got a nice angle. Now, because when I took that measurement, it was from point to the square end. I just flip it over, hook, 36 and a half plus a little tiny bit. So now I hadn't taken all the nails out because I didn't know where I was going to end up cutting. And now I need a square cut. So I'll set up my table back to 0. See, 0 right there. Another way to check it is to take the guard, make sure your fingers aren't anywhere near the trigger, and if you want to see if it's square, you just place the square and push the square against the blade, and if it's touching nicely, then you know the table on the saw is square, and you know the blade is square. So now, I don't need a clamp for this because I grab the square like that, it's holding both, and I'll line up my blade mark right with that line. So nice and perfect. So now you have your outside edge, right? And you have your square edge. And the only other thing now is to basically take one of these pair of pliers and pry these nails from the back end out. That way it doesn't do any damage to the face. So here we are, same thing. Here we are, same thing. So that's one. We're gonna try to clean this up. I don't even have a sharp knife, to be honest. We're gonna clean all the caulking off this. I'm trying to make a good job with stuff that's already been used. It's a little bit challenging sometimes, but a little bit of tap. Which was this guy. That was 1 1/4 plus. Boom. Right there. So I'm going to go back to my table, flip her over, go halfway between 45 and 50. Try to get it dead center roughly. And clamp it again. So now I'm going to just do my one and a quarter plus 16. That's the outside edge that I want that blade to follow. So I'm going to make an actual mark on this. And this way you can kind of see through here where the blade is going to touch on the line. And so like you don't have to clamp it. If you feel comfortable holding the square like this, you can just do this freehand. Like clamping is just a little more secure, holding the square. And so, look at that beautiful cut. Except the little tiny fray. Nothing a nice sharp knife that's been cutting drywall can fix. And now you have your beautiful corner ready to be installed. So that those pieces are ready. Now that big piece. Oh yeah, I did leave it downstairs, so I can literally cut my last angle, and then I'm gonna pause the live to go and do the. I have to take that call that I just hung up on, and then I'll show you how to do casings. So this one, I'm literally just going to flip it over, cut my outside angle. Now obviously this is a little harder if you got trim that's got a profile to it, like waves and stuff. But I usually cut the angle first and then cut the square edge because it's easier. So this is 1 inch and 3/8. 1 inch and 3/8. Talk to you guys in a minute. Make that mark. Cut that trim. I'll be back. I was just on a live, that's why I...
No, no.